Hey, what's up guys? Wellington here with the Comic Book Lowdown. Doing this video pretty late, but I said I would do it today. Probably won't even be uploaded in today. Probably be uploaded in tomorrow, being the 10th. But starting the filming of this video is the 9th. Just almost the 10th. And, but anyways, doing nothing right now, so I figured I'd just whip this out and do the review on it. Try to do it no spoilers, just try to do a quick review on it actually. And as you guys could see, this was all of End of Days, Daredevil End of Days, all 8 issues. Great freaking story. Amazing. The writing was awesome. The art in it was awesome. Just the story was so well plotted. Bendis did a great job at this. I think the 2 characters that Bendis gets the most are Daredevil and Spider-Man. And if he would just do those 2 books, well, no, I really like Mark Waid doing Daredevil now. So let me step back. If there was, for whatever reason, 2 Daredevil books, and Bendis was also doing one, I would definitely be picking up those. Just because Bendis has a great feel for the character, and of course Bendis has his long run on Daredevil that I could just go back and get. They even have it in omnibus, so that might be the next omnibus I think about getting, much like way in the future, because I still have these tomes of Spider-Man omnibuses that I've read and all that kind of good stuff, but whatever. Getting off of that, getting back to, first of all, let me share with you guys all 8 of these covers, which are awesome. Here's the first one. All have the theme of somebody being dead. Kingpin, Elektra, and not all of this stuff happens. Bullseye. Not all of this, like, they're just covers. Punisher. Black Widow. This is gonna be Typhoid Mary. And then the final one breaks the tradition of it, and it has Daredevil alive. No, that's not going through his head, he's just holding it behind his face. But all the covers in this were gold. Gold covers. Man, it was just such a great story. But it needs to be read all together for the full effect. I read it all in a sitting. Kind of took a little bit of time, seeing as how Bendis loves to write. But I'll give you the lowdown real quick. Brian Michael Bendis and David Mack on writing, and Klaus Jansen on art, and then on the there's a lot of paintings in this as well. So Bill Sienkiewicz does the finished paintings and the finished art, and Matt Hollingsworth does color art, and so forth and all that kind of good stuff. But I'll share with you guys the first page of this. That's the first page in the book. So I mean, there's just beautiful artwork in this. It's very line-filled by Klaus Jansen. There's a lot of lines, but it definitely has to be that way. I don't want to show you guys this page. This is a really good page that if you haven't read it, you just got to read it yourselves and see it for yourselves, and just be surprised for yourselves once you just open to that double page spread. I'm trying to look for another double page spread of just beautiful art, and it's hard. It's hard to have beautiful art but still have that grainy, line-filled feel. But I think Jansen does a great job at this. I don't think besides that one, I don't think there's another double page spread in this book or in this issue. I'm thinking of another issue right now. But like you see the way New York, they make a New York look, and just everybody is just characterized so well by Mack and Bendis. Just gives you a long story of just what's happened and what's happening now, and just there's pieces in between that we don't know. That we have the main character Ben Urich going about reporting for, you know, not even the failing anymore, the pretty much the dead Daily Bugle, closing down, all that kind of good stuff, or bad stuff really. And just the way that the story takes motion, it's very, you know, at the end of every issue, besides, you know, the last one, of course, there's always something that gets you, like, wanting the next one. So you can always tell when the next issue's coming. So, for example, if you're reading the trade and they don't have all the covers, you'll be able to tell when one issue is over and you're going to the next issue, because there's always a giant cliffhanger at the end. So, you know, the whole story, again, was plotted out amazingly with the art that matched the feeling and the tone of it, and there's just a twist and a turn every single issue, and it's frustrating. It leaves you guessing, and it leaves you guessing all the way up to the final issue, but it doesn't, it's tied up very well. So, unlike, you know, this piece of crap Age of Ultron that's going on now, that I used to like, but now it sucks, unlike that, in this, you know, 8 issues in the series, issue 7 still leaves you with questions, but there's been enough answers, and there's been enough, the plot has moved enough to the point where even though you have questions still, it's able to be, all the answers that you're gonna get in the book are able to be answered in that final issue. So, you know, everything that needs to be wrapped up is wrapped up nicely, and even at the end of issue 8, you're still left to speculate some things, but the way that they do it is that they don't just abandon it, they don't just forget about it, they kind of have tied in the ends to the story in a way that you wouldn't have been able to get that information unless you're coming from certain characters. Again, I'm not going to ruin anything really, I just want to show you a little bit of the art and whatnot. But yeah, so like, the way Bendis plotted this out, no wonder it took so long for him to finally get this in writing, finally get this out, and there's just so many characters that come up in here, like characters from, of course, Daredevil's Rogues Gallery. Of course you're gonna get, well, I mean, of course you got Bullseye, of course you got Elektra, of course you got some Kingpin appearances. I'm not gonna tell you in what context any of these characters are in. I mean, pretty much every character you see on a cover is either in the book or somehow referenced in the book. So, you know, of course, Daredevil, Bullseye, Kingpin, Elektra, Black Widow, and Typhoid Mary, and Punisher, they all come up in some form or another in this book. Some characters play bigger roles than others, but the way everything is handled very nicely. And of course, more characters from Daredevil's Rogues Gallery come up. They pop up in this book, and you know, more supporting characters even, and of course, following Ben Urich. Just the assortment of characters, to the writing, to the plot, to the idea itself, just to the execution, to the art, everything put into one just had this like perfect storm of good comic book in this story, and just reading it all together from issue 1 to issue 8, man, it's just such a cohesive story. You follow it, you can follow it easily. You you're not having to struggle and go back and read a page or anything like that. That never happened to me, at least when I was reading this. I was engaged, had you engaged the entire time, honestly. Even me having gone through second readings of a lot of these, and for issue 1, when I read it all in full, that was like my 4th or 5th time reading issue number 1, because issue number 1 starts off with a bang, and then it kind of simmers down to where it needs to be from issue 2, and then it builds. So it starts you off at this climactic point to draw you in, then it simmers down to a point where it needs to form the story. So you're not here at all times, but you start here, brings you in, and then it goes like this. But it goes like this fast because it really the only 2 issues that you could even call down issues would be issue 2 and 3, and those leave you with great things, but they're the only issues that, again, like I said, it simmers down and it builds. So issue 1 has this great thing that happens, and then you're just like, oh my god, what is going on? Then issue 2 and issue 3, it then builds upon what's going on, and in a very constructive way, still has you engaged. And then, and again, at the end of each issue, there's a cliffhanger that has you drawn in for the next issue, just always. So issue 2 and 3 does that, but then once you get to issue 4, you're back up there with issue 1, and then you pretty much stay there and even go a little bit higher, which is a great thing. You even, you surpass the climax of what this book seemed to be setting up, and the ending of it is very fitting. I accept it. For a reader who's not very familiar with the Daredevil universe, maybe it might be a little bit confusing at some points. That is, if you don't know some of the characters that Daredevil, Matt Murdock, has encountered in his past, and I don't want to ruin it by telling you guys what it is. So I guess once you encounter those characters in some form or the other, just look them up and see what the relationship is to the Daredevil universe, and then you'll be fine from there. This book, again, it does rely on knowledge of the universe. It is an end of day story. It is the end story, so it kind of expects you to know things about the universe already. It doesn't really want to set you up. But if you don't know much about the universe, it's not punishing in that sense. So they use a lot of big characters that you would know, and the smaller characters that you might not know, they fit them in a way that doesn't hinder your reading. So definitely that's a plus. But yeah, again, I cannot recommend this any more than I have. Each issue, I've debated it. If it came out in the same week as the regular Daredevil book, I probably always picked the regular Daredevil series as my pick of the week. But if it didn't, this probably was my pick of the week on those weeks, just because that regular series is up here, but then End of Days was just a little bit over here. So again, book is awesome, book is incredible. I've got all the issues, don't regret it at all. Took a long time to come out, everything, 8 issues and then breaks between issues, so it took maybe 10, 11 months, almost a year. But in the end, definitely worth it, and it will be worth it for you guys to pick it up for yourselves and trade. and read it all together. Try to do it in a sitting. If you do it in a sitting, it would be even more beneficial to you because it's almost like you're watching a movie pretty much, because you're getting all that information one sitting and you don't take your breaks in between really. And any kind of break or any kind of time that you can, sacrifice to read this all in one is going to be well worth it, because really you don't even want any time in between, because there is a lot going on, but it's put in a way that you're not confused and you're not looking back to things that had happened before. You can really remember everything that's happened. But again, don't want to drone on about this anymore. I've said what I needed to say without spoiling it, so I'm happy about that. Again, I encourage you guys to read this if you haven't. And that's really it for me, guys. I'm Wellington, signing off with the Comic Book Lowdown, and I'll see you guys next time.